Hi YouTube, this is Speedy Cheetah Cub, and I've made something that I think is really interesting that I'd love to show you all. So you probably are at least a little bit familiar with the Hunger Games Simulator website. It's kind of popular for YouTubers to make videos on this. It's pretty fun, and also people tend to do it themselves, and some people like to put random characters in it, such as maybe their favorite content creators, or maybe some characters in a show that they'd like to watch, or maybe, I don't know, their friends and family, whatever. And I was watching a video made by the amazing Jimmy Solidarity Gaming. I'll leave a link to his channel, although you probably already know who he is if you're watching this video. And he makes videos where he does Hunger Games simulators with the other people in the SMPs that he's in. And I thought, that sounds like a really interesting idea. But then I was realizing, what if there was a version of the Hunger Games simulator that was kind of like the Life series? So, I don't have yet the coding prowess to make that in the time that I wanted to, but I realized that the Hunger Games Simulator website actually allows you to change the names of events and various things that go on in it, and it's very customizable. Unfortunately, I can't change the number of times that characters can die in this game, so this simulation, everyone only has one life, just as if it was regular hardcore, and not 3 lives like you normally have in the Life series, or however many they have in the next one that they do. But I did make it have a lot of events that seemed very similar to what would happen in the Life series, and I think it turned out really well. So this is my starting out sequence. There's the Life series logo. I actually found this somewhere. I think I will put the link of where this logo comes from in the description as well. And then you have each of these. These are all the players. Put them in alphabetical order, and of course I have their YouTube profile pictures as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna get started with the simulation to give you guys an example of what it's like, and I'll leave a link to this version of the simulation in the description as well if you want to see that. So, alright, let's try it. Alright, first things first, the intro. The players stand in a circle as the rules are explained. B-Dubs gathers resources. Impulse gathers resources. Brian gets blown up by a creeper. Yeah, there's some random times that they can just die in the beginning. I think that's one of the few ways. Mumbo attempts to find animals. Big B attempts to find animals. Ren decides to build a house. Scar gathers resources. Lizzie explores the map. Scott, Joel, and Pearl do a bit. Skiz gathers resources. Jem gathers resources. Jimmy and Martin explore the map together. Etho does a bit. Cleo decides to build a house. Tango attempts to find animals. Alright, so let's go to Session 1. The first half of Session 1. Skiz burns down Scar's house. Well, we know Scar is quite the arsonist, so I suppose it's only fair. Big B attempts to collect building materials, but Martin steals everything he gets. Jem also attempts to collect building materials, and Tango steals everything she gets. People like stealing, apparently. Lizzie and Joel set up a trap for B-Dubs, though he manages to survive it. Jimmy attempts to burn down Impulse's house. Impulse is successfully able to stop him before he can do any major damage. Yeah, that seems about right. Mumbo, Cleo, and Pearl do a bit. Ren and Scott collect building materials together. And Etho goes mining. Alright, well, the mid-session break, you hear one lightning strike, and that's Grian, because remember, he got blown up by a creeper first thing. Poor Grian. Alright, the second half of Session 1. Etho flirts with Mumbo, but he rejects his advances. Yeah, I did include a few of those, because, it's a Life series, they love flirting with each other. Alright, Scar works on improving his armor. Jimmy works on improving his armor. Ren collects building materials. Skiz and Lizzie work on improving their weapons together. Martin attempts to collect food from Tango's farm, but he chases him away. Jem and Big B go mining together. Joel and Cleo team up to attack Pearl, but she manages to kill Joel instead, while Cleo escapes. Wow, so I guess that's Joel out. Yeah, you guys, we should know better than to attack Pearl. B-Dubs works on improving his tools. Impulse and Scott collect building materials together. Alright, so Session 2. First half of Session 2. Etho sets a trap. B-Dubs and Impulse do a bit. Pearl flirts with Skiz, but he rejects her advances. Scott flirts with Cleo, but they reject his advances. Mumbo and Scar work together on improving their weapons. Oh, I said that wrong, but it's, it's the same thing. Jimmy burns down Jem's house. Yeah. Tango attempts to collect food from Lizzie's farm, but she chases him away. Ren and Bigby set a trap for Martin, though he manages to survive the trap while Ren does not. Well, I guess that's Ren out. So, 2 lightning strikes can be heard in the distance, Joel and Ren. Alright, let's check on how everything's doing. So, we got Green is gone, Joel is gone, Ren is gone, and he has a kill credit. And so does Big B as well. And Pearl. So yeah. Alright. Second half of session 2. Jimmy attempts to collect building materials, but Jem steals everything he gets. Lizzie and Etho decide to team up, but Lizzie betrays Etho and literally stabs in the back. Alright, I guess that's Etho out. Skiz collects building materials. B-Dubs and Big B team up to attack Scar, but he manages to escape unscathed. Tango, Mumbo, and Impulse do a bit. Pearl does a bit. Scott and Martin work together on improving their weapons. I keep saying that one wrong. Cleo works on improving their weapons. Alright. So, session 3. Jem works on improving her tools. Cleo and Mumbo set a trap together, but Cleo intentionally sets it off, though Mumbo manages to survive it. Impulse works on improving his armor. Scott collects food from Scar's farm. B-Dubs and Jimmy set a trap for Pearl, though she manages to survive the trap while B-Dubs and Jimmy do not. And once again, don't go after Pearl, man. Both these guys are out now. Ah, sorry, Jimmy. You'll win one eventually. Maybe. Bigby does a bit. Lizzie works on improving her armor. Skiz sets a trap for Martin, but he manages to survive it. Tango collects food from his farm. Alright, mid-session break, we have 3 lightning strikes. Etho, B-Dubs, and Jimmy. Alright. Scar, Impulse, and Skiz all fight each other, but everyone manages to escape unscathed. Martin flirts with Tango, but he rejects his advances. Cleo and Scott work on improving their weapons together. Pearl goes mining. Big B works on improving his armor. Jem does a bit. Mumbo and Lizzie flirt with each other. Alright, pretty standard stuff. Okay, session 4. Martin works on improving his weapons. Scott collects building materials. Big B and Impulse work on improving their armor together. Cleo and Jem collect building materials together. Scar works on improving his armor. Mumbo collects food from his farm. Tango and Skiz collect building materials together. Man, everyone's getting building materials. Lizzie works on improving her tools. Pearl works on improving her weapons. Like, everyone was just collecting stuff and improving their gear. Yeah, there's no deaths yet. Alright, second half. Tango and Mumbo team up to attack Cleo, but they manage to kill Tango instead while Mumbo escapes. That's Tango out. Lizzie attempts to work on her house, but Martin annoys her, preventing her from accomplishing anything. Yep, that sounds about right. Pearl and Skiz attack Big B and Jem. They kill Big B, but Jem manages to kill them. Wow! So that's all 3 of these are out. Jem, congratulations on winning that fight. That's pretty. A lot of people dead right there. Alright, Scott and Scar work on improving their tools together, and Impulse does a bit. Alright, so, special event. So, this event is called the Dead Return. This is the replacement for the Feast. So it only occurs after enough players have been out of the game, and it involves dead players showing up to either as ghosts talking to the players or as zombies. It doesn't specify which players they are, it's just that dead players are coming back. But yeah, we can see what happens here. So Cleo hears a ghost telling them to kill Lizzie, which they follow through with. Well, that's Lizzie out. Impulse hears a ghost telling him to kill Mumbo, which he attempts to do so, but Mumbo wins the fight. Well, I guess that's Impulse out as well. Scott does not encounter a dead player. Jem does not encounter a dead player. Scar hears a ghost telling him to kill Martin, which he follows through with, so that's Martin out as well. There's no zombies here. Now, usually there's at least one zombie, but I guess it's just ghosts. Maybe they are and they just haven't seen them. Alright, so that was all session 5. Man, there's only 5 people left already. It's only session 5. Alright. Mumbo sets a trap for Cleo, but they manage to survive it. Jem, Scott, and Scar do a bit. Yes, 7 lightning strikes. So that's the fight and then the dead coming back. So Tango, Pearl, Skiz, Big B, Lizzie, Impulse, and Martin are all gone. Let's look at the statuses. Alright, let's see. Cleo, Jimmy, Pearl, Jem, and B-Dubs all have 2 kills. Bigby, Skiz, Lizzie, Mumbo, and Ren and Scar, they all have 1 kill, and then the rest of them don't have any, and then our remaining contenders are Scott, Cleo, Mumbo, Scar, and Gem. So, according to the kill list, it looks like Gem and Cleo are favored to win, but, you know, it's anybody's game with this simulator. Alright, so still in session 5. Scott, Gem, and Scar all fight each other. Scott kills Gem, then Scar kills him. Oh, well, I guess that's Gem out, and Scott too, so that's Scar just left. And then Mumbo and Cleo do a bit. So it's just Scar, Mumbo, and Cleo going into session 6. Alright, Scar collects food from Cleo's farm. Mumbo accidentally angers an Enderman, which promptly kills him. Yeah, that's another random event that players can do. You know, there's so many of them that are killed by Enderman as well, so I just put that in there. So we just have Scar and Cleo left. Yep, 3 lightning strikes, Scott, Gem, Mumbo. Alright, finally. Scar and Cleo decide to team up, but Scar betrays Cleo and literally stabs them in the back. Yeah, this one's kind of funny to get as the last one because it's supposed to be, like, when there's still other people around, but I also sometimes think of it, if it happens like this, kind of like, spoilers for Limited Life, kind of like what Martin did at the end when they were gonna do a fair fight and then he, like, betrayed and then, like, won that way. So I guess you could see it like that. Alright, so, that means the winner is Scar. So, we can look at the placements. Scar had the most kills, I believe. Yep, 3 kills. He ended up winning. Nice. So, and then you can see Green last because he blew up with a creeper first thing, right? So here's the summary of all of the deaths. So yeah, Green was blown up by a creeper. Pearl killed Joel. Ren and Bigby tried to kill Martin, and then Ren died. Yeah, Lizzie killed Etho. B-Dubs and Jimmy tried to kill Pearl, and then ended up killing each other instead by accident. Cleo kills Tango. Pearl and Skiz kill Bigby, and then Gem kills both of them. Cleo kills Lizzie. Mumbo kills Impulse. Scar kills Martin. And then Scott kills Gem. Scar kills Scott. Mumbo dies to an Enderman. And then Scar kills Cleo. So there we go. That's the summary of it. You can see here, so we can, so yeah, so that's kind of what a simulation is like. There are more events that can occur. If I show you how the events are laid out. So, the intro is like, these are the events that can happen. So there's just, house building, exploring the map, finding animals, and doing bits. And the only way you can die in the intro is if you get blown up by a creeper or fall off a cliff. Because there's no fighting yet. So the day and night are like the first and second halves of the session, and generally speaking, I have most of the fighting occurring in the second half, and then more of the like trap setting is the first half. So here, there's a bunch of different versions of trap setting. So these ones are all ones where nobody dies, and then in this version, oh, you know, this is standard 2 deaths I put it there. And then here are the various versions of the traps that could go off. So you can blow yourself up with your own trap, and then there's, you know, standard blowing each other up with traps, or you know, catching someone off guard, getting someone in their own trap, and then like the 3-player ones as well down here. So yeah, that's the thing that happens. And then so we also have, you know, standard stuff, going mining, collecting building materials, getting stuff from a farm, working on your house, burning down each other's houses. So yeah, that's the thing. And then improving their various, you know, armor, weapons, tools, and then doing a bit. And I also included flirting with each other, one person flirting but the other one not agreeing to it, and then also pretending to get married as a joke, because I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, you can see here I have past all the trap stuff. We have deaths related to burning down houses, so people can retaliate for that. Then here's the betrayal kill, and then also I included an Enderman being involved, either just doing it on your own or tricking each other into looking at an Enderman as well. And then for the nighttime, I have, you know, the same standard mining, gathering materials, getting food, working on your house. I did not include burning down the house. That's just a first half thing. Working on improving your stuff. And then I included fighting. So, 2 players can fight each other, 3 players can fight each other, 4 players can fight each other. So these are the ones that people survive, and then there's a bunch of ones in the deaths. Here are the bits, and here's the flirting, of course. So if I show you over here, standard to generic deaths, and then ones related to fighting. So 2 players fighting, and then one of them wins. 2 players attacking another player, and then the various permutations of how that could go. And then 3 players all fighting each other, so how that could turn out. And then, of course, 2 players attacking another 2 players, and all of the versions of that sort of fighting. So, and then, of course, the betrayal kill. Now, this one does not have the Enderman kills, but that's because there's so many fighting kills that I decided to just not include it for this part. So those are those. And then we have the Feast event, which is the dead players returning. So the default is just that you don't encounter any dead players. So you saw some people were like that. So then there's also, these are all the ones where nobody passes away. So this one is just, receiving advice, kind of like spoilers for Secret Life, kind of like what happened in episode 8, where Jimmy was visiting Grian and giving him advice. And then, once again, advice from a ghost to kill another player, but then not going through with it, so then no one dies there. And then here are all the ones for a zombie being there. So, a player could avoid a zombie, a player could actually encounter the zombie, and then they escape from it. And then there's the one where a player could try to get the zombie to attack another player, but nobody dies from it. And then finally, 2 players working together to defend themselves from a zombie. Whereas there's also a few ways that the players can die in it. So if, with the ghost telling them to attack each other, either they succeed or the other player wins. And then also they encounter a zombie and die. They lure a zombie to kill someone else, or they try to lure to kill someone else, but it doesn't work and it kills them. So those are those. I removed the endgame events because it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. And then finally, I have arena events. So right now I have 4 of them. The first one is the Boogeyman. So in that one, there's only one way that no one dies, and that's if the player just avoids the Boogeyman altogether. And then I have a few different fatal scenarios. So I can actually show you the way that this one is done. So with the arena events, there always is at least one way that someone can survive, and then at least one way that someone dies. So the first way someone dies is the way that the Boogeyman curse in this arena event works is that you get chosen as the Boogeyman, you have a limited time, you kill somebody, if you don't, you die. So the first one is just player is the Boogeyman, and they can't kill anyone, so they die. And then second one, player is Boogeyman, kill someone else. So you also have player is Boogeyman, tries to kill someone else, but the player fights back, and then they die. Someone is chosen Boogeyman, tries to kill someone, and they escape, so they kill a different person instead. And then I have Boogeymen teaming up. So 2 Boogeymen trying to kill players. 1 is cured, 1 does not get cured. And then 2 is Boogeymen, and they both get cured. So those are just the various ways that the Boogeyman can happen. So that's one. Another event is the Warden showing up. It's a common occurrence in various life series, episodes, or seasons when a player, for some reason or other, brings a warden to the surface. Sometimes it's because they want to use it as for a revenge plot, sometimes it's for a task, sometimes it's just because, let's bring the warden, whatever. So there's a few different ways that this can play out. So one of them is just a player just stays away from the warden altogether, which is a good idea. Another one is that they encounter the warden, but they survive. And then the last one here is that someone tries to kill another player using the warden, but they survive. And then I have a few different fatal scenarios. So 1 is that they get obliterated by a sonically charged shriek. 2 is that they just get punched by the warden because it has a melee attack. 3, they get killed by the warden because of another player. 4, another player tries to do it, but they get killed instead. And then 5, the player succeeds in killing the other player using the warden, but then they also die. So both players die in that one. So yeah, that's the warden. The next event is Let's Go Beat the Game, and this is an event that the players go to the end to fight the Ender Dragon. that has occurred in the series before, and so I thought I might include it because it seems like an interesting opportunity. So there's 2 ways the player survives. Either they don't go in the end, or they do go in the end and they survive the fight. And then there's 3 ways the player can die. So they go in the end and then get killed by the dragon, they go in the end and then fall off, or they go in the end and another player tricks them into looking at the Endermans in the end, and then they die to the Enderman. Then finally, the last event I have is snails. That one's major spoilers for Wildlife if you haven't seen it. It is pretty early on though. But yeah, how could I not include the snails? So we have one way you can survive, which is you avoid your snail. And then you have 4 different ways of potentially dying. The first way is that you just touch the snail and die. The second is that you get pushed into... 5 ways, not 4. Second is you get pushed into the snail by another player. Third is another player makes your snail invisible, so it sneaks up on you. I put that one in for a specific reason, which you probably know if you've seen that episode. 4 is that you think the snail is cute and give it a hug. And then 5 is that you don't watch where you're going and trip over the snail. Those are both just additional snail deaths because I want it to be a bit more deadly than just having 3 ways of dying. So yeah, those are all of those events. Now the events occur randomly, sometimes they occur right away, sometimes you don't get any at all. I did want the dead returning event to be a regular thing, so that's why it's the feast. And that should be all the stuff. So if you have any recommendations for things I should add or things I should change about the way that I have this set up, please let me know. Because I will be updating I'll be updating the description with a new link every time I improve upon this thing. I might add a new link, I might change the old one, it depends on what you guys want, if you guys prefer it a different way. And if they add any new members, I will include them in the beginning, but I won't be removing old members because I want all the members to be there, even if they aren't all going to be there in the new season. So yeah, thank you for checking out this video that I made. And I hope that you enjoyed watching it. So yeah, links to everything that I said in the description, so be sure to check that stuff out. Alright, that's it. Bye!